Though it took me some time to get to the place that you wanted me to be. Oh, now I'm ready. I'm ready to love. Y'all know how to give y'all that good intro, right? All right, let's get it. Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's Bree. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode recap. And of course, I am here to discuss Ready to Love Season 9, Episode 1, titled Hot and Bothered. All right, y'all, let's get into it. So we start this episode off with the cast. We learn that the cast is located in Fort Worth, Texas. I believe that's in the Dallas metropolitan area. So yeah, so we meet 10 singles, and later throughout the show, we learn that there's going to be 2 mixers. So in total, I think it's going to be about 20 singles. But they're going to be split into 10 into 2 different mixers. So anyway, it is the day that the first 10 singles meet each other. So it's a mixer, and, the men and women arrive at the house. So the first woman to arrive at the house, her name is April, who is 41 years old, and she's a pharmaceutical director. So she lets us know that she's looking for a tall, dark, and handsome guy because she loves her some chocolate. So yeah, y'all, she is like looking for her Mr. Chocolate here on this show. So next, the second person to arrive at the house, his name is LaRon. He's 31 years old, and he's a systems operations manager. So he says that he's looking for love all in the wrong places. And, basically he needs to get his act together. And so side note, in case for some of you guys who've never watched previous seasons before. So basically during the first episode, there's a few singles that arrive at like this type of mansion. They have a mixer, and basically the mixer is where, the men and women get to know each other. They're talking. They get to know their life, what they do for a living. And so basically after everyone gets to know each other, then Tommy comes to the house and just, somebody, either the man or the woman has to be eliminated that night. So that's kind of how like that goes in the beginning. So in case anybody gets a little confused. So anyway, back to this. So LaRon arrives at the house to be greeted by April. And so, they're talking, getting to know each other. So next, the third person that arrives, her name is Mika. And we learn that she's 36 years old and she's an esthetician. Also, we learn that she has 2 kids and, she's looking for some eye candy in the house. So it seems so far, the ladies, they're looking for, some guys who are good looking. Next, we meet DeMonte, who's 42 years old, and he's a fashion stylist. So, of course, he arrives at the house. I think he does photography as well, but yeah, he's pretty much a fashion stylist. So Mika says that when DeMonte first arrived, her mind immediately went to the Nutcracker based upon his outfit. So as you guys know, DeMonte is a fashion stylist. So his outfit, I would say like he wore a suit, but it was, I guess stylish in his own right. And so Mika was just saying that he looks like the Nutcracker. And I guess that was kind of like a turn off for her, but I don't know. So next, a few more singles arrive at the house, and we meet a guy named Will who's age 31, and he's a real estate developer. So he says a woman would want to date him because he got it going on and he's smart. So he's kind of funny, guys. I find him funny, so far throughout the season. But yeah, Will is kind of like a class clown, and you guys will get to understand that as the episode continues. So Will says that his first shouty, I think that's how he said it, that caught his eye was Mika. So he and Mika are at a table talking, and she asks him, what brought you here? So he replies saying that he's looking for somebody like her, and maybe they can get something popping, and they just start laughing because he's, as I said, he's kind of like the funny one. So next sorry y'all. So next we meet William. He's 37 years old and he's a comedian. So he arrives at the house and he says, he doesn't have a game plan when it comes to the mixer and when it comes to dating. And when it comes to dating for him, a woman would get like a chef, a protector, and like a comedian all in one. So that's what he talks about. So next we meet a woman named Alexis, who's 32 years old, and she's an operations director. So she lets us know that she's looking for a clean man, okay? She says she is looking for a man that smells nice and he got to keep his place clean and everything. And I don't blame her on that one. So I feel you, sis, on, the clean man.
I know that's right. I know that's right.
So also, too, she says that she doesn't have a preference on whether he's light skin or dark skin, just as long as he tickles her pickle. Y'all, these people this season, they're kind of funny so far. So it's hilarious. So anyway, we see that April, she's sitting down with a young gentleman named Dominique. And he's age 35 and he's an accountant / curator. So he lets April know that he's never been married, he doesn't have any kids, but he travels a lot and he wants a big family. So you can tell April is attracted to him, She's like kind of flirting with Dominique and she's like touching his arms and stuff. It was so funny. So she says that she was very impressed by him and he has masculine energy. That's like what she got from him. So April lets Dominique know that, she doesn't have any children and she is open to having them. So Dominique lets April know that he wants 2 to 10 kids. And child, as soon as he said that, April was like, wait a minute, what? So we learned that Dominique and his family, I think he said his grandfather had 23 kids. And then he said as he's traveled throughout the world, I guess he would see families with a lot of kids. And so I guess that inspired him to, want a lot of kids. So, but I mean, I feel you on that, but not no 10 kids, Dominique. Yeah. So, yeah, April is just like, wait a minute, what? So she's shocked. And so Dominique lets her know, he's like, if God gave me 10 kids, I would be happy. But he says his minimum is 2 kids. So, well, not his minimum. He said he wants at least 2 kids. So April says to him, she's like, I can tell you right now that the Lord spoke to me and he is not going to give you 10 kids through me.
I said what I said. Okay.
So she's like, I ain't playing that. And I think he said, oh, well, at least, if you just have 2 kids, be cool or whatever. So anyway, finally, Tommy arrives at the house, to greet everyone and to meet the singles. So all of a sudden, Tommy says that they're actually missing another person, and this guy's name is Glenn. So we see in a confessional, we see the actual guy named Glenn, and he's just coming off super nervous, just everything. And we learn that he's 41 years old and he's a teacher. So he's just in his confessional, he's really nervous. I think he's sweating or something. And so the producers, they're having to keep, stopping and reshooting the scene because he's just too nervous, I guess, to really shoot his confessional. So also too, we see in a different scene, he's actually in the car pulling up to the house. And then all of a sudden the car stops. And I think he tells, the driver that he doesn't know if he can go in. And, the driver's just sitting there are you okay? And yeah, that's where that scene ends. So we don't even know if Glenn is coming, y'all. So anyway, Tommy's talking to the singles and he lets them know that this will be their first mixer. And then tomorrow he's going to meet 10 new singles for a second mixer. So Tommy explains they're breaking it down this way because if you guys don't know, in previous seasons before of Ready to Love, he usually had like 20 singles in like for one mixer, and you know, everybody's getting to know each other. So I think this season they're going to break it down into smaller groups and then just have two separate mixers, and then whoever's eliminated, those 2 days, and then the rest of them will all meet up together as like one big group. So I think they're just, trying to do it like that this season. So Tommy says that he wants them to start this process slow and steady for a real chance to get to know each and every person that's there. So he lets the ladies know that tonight the power is in their hands, and at the end of the night, one of the guys will be leaving. So basically, the women have to make an elimination of the guys that are there. So then he says for the remaining singles, they will have a chance to meet the other 9 singles he's going to meet tomorrow at the second mixer. And then they'll all get together and meet each other at a Ready to Love brunch. So that's, basically what Tommy explains to the cast. So after he gives that speech, Tommy leaves and he goes to find out what happened to Glenn, y'all. He's just like, I need to find out what happened to this boy. So meanwhile, we see DeMonte. He's talking with the women about his career. And we also learn that he has like many tattoos. So the scene switches over to Tommy calling Glenn on the phone. And he's like leaving him voicemail messages, and he's just like, yo, like, where are you at? We need to know, Glenn, are you coming or not? But I ain't gonna lie, y'all, in a way, it looked like Tommy was acting. You could tell it was just kind of for dramatic purposes for TV. So I was just like, y'all are so funny. I guess they're trying to make Ready to Love more interesting this season by having funny little scenes. But anyway, so we move on over and we actually meet another young lady named Koshia, and she's age 35 and she's a realtor. So she says that she was raised to be a mom and a wife first before having a career. And we learned that she has 2 kids that are 15 and 10. And she does say, if her guy that she meets, if her husband wants another child, she'll have another child with her husband, but that's currently where she is right now. So next, we jump on over to Alexis, who's talking to Will, and she asks him if he wants kids, and he says that he does. So Alexis asks him, well, how soon? And he says, well, if it's God ordained, I'm ready to go. So remember, y'all, Will's the funny one. So, so far I like him. I think he's funny. He just makes you laugh. So then also, too, Will keeps talking about, he wants to, Netflix and chill and have booty rubs. And he also says that he likes Alexis, because he thinks that she's cool. So we find out, while Alexis is talking to Will, she lets him know that she has an autoimmune disorder to where she has to eat, really, really clean. She says that when she sweats, her body doesn't release it, and therefore she's had to have her sweat glands removed under her arms. And so, Will is very intrigued. He's like, oh, wow, that's, interesting. And, he just says that he appreciates her telling him that. And, in that moment, he wanted to pray for her. So, that was a nice moment between them, especially for her to reveal something very personal. I thought that was very brave of her. So anyway, y'all, we go over to a new scene and Tommy is still outside trying to call Glenn, child. And so I guess it goes to Glenn's voicemail again. And so Tommy basically just lets him know that he's just not ready to love. So I guess, guys, Glenn will not be joining us. So anyway, we see LaRon and Koshia. They're talking, and LaRon lets her know that he came to Texas about 2 years ago because of COVID and also to find a wife. So she asked him, well, what is it that you want? And he says he wants a wife and kids. So he says that drinking and traveling, they're fun to him. And in Koshia's confessional, she says that he makes her smile. So Koshia's feeling LaRon, and, I guess they were just having a good conversation. So Koshia starts flirting with him, and she tells him that she wants him to let his guard down. So he says, their conversation flowed and he feels safe with her. So I guess Koshia got her eyes on somebody already. So anyway, y'all, Tommy comes back to the house and he tells everybody, let's go inside. So Tommy lets everyone know that Glenn is a runner and he hasn't showed up. And so everybody's like, well, it's, his loss. Okay. So next, Tommy tells the men that they're going to play a game called Hot and Bothered. So with this game, there are like hats with all of the ladies' like name on it. And so every guy there gets like a bunch of hats with all the girls' name on it. And so basically Tommy says that he's going to read questions like on a cue card. And the questions that he asks, the men have to guess what question belongs to what woman. So basically, like, he'll say something, okay, this person likes going to the store and walking her dog in the park. Who is that? And then the guys will have to say, oh, that's Koshia, as an example. And then, of course, Tommy will let them know which woman it is. And then that person will get a point. So that's the gist of the game. I'm just trying to, tell you guys. So anyway, they're all playing the game. They're having fun. Tommy's asking the questions. The guys are responding about which woman it is. And so he also lets them know, he says that the winner of the game is going to be safe from elimination. So basically, whoever has the most points, basically whoever answered the most questions right, they're safe from elimination. So, of course, the guys are getting their game face on. Tommy's asking the questions. It's going round for round. And towards the end of the questions, Dominique and I think LaRon, they were like tied. And so basically, Tommy had to do like one more question to break the tie. And so he asked the question and Dominique wins. He answered the question right. So we all find out that Dominique's the winner and he's safe from elimination. So after the game happens, the women, they go back outside to talk to the guys again. And so Koshia is talking to Will, and she says that she was divorced in 2018. And when she first got married to her ex-husband, when she got married, she found out that he had 4 kids and didn't even know, and she was already married. So I was like, dag, that's crazy to me. To me, I feel like, isn't that cause for an annulment? Because that's, deceitfulness. Like, how is it that, you didn't know he had 4 kids? That's crazy. So anyway, so as she's telling Will this story, Will said, well, dang, was his ding-a-ling that good?
And this is how it felt.
Really?
She's explaining it to you.
Yeah, I'm just saying really.
And I thought that was very inappropriate because you're trying to say like, oh, she was blinded. She basically ignored the signs, or she ignored that he had kids, and maybe she knew he had kids, but she ignored it because maybe the sex was good. And I was just like, that was just totally wrong. She's telling you something very vulnerable and personal, and for you to say that is wrong and inappropriate. So Koshia says in her confessional that she felt disrespected by that question and she was not here for it. So that was a complete, absolutely not. So anyway, we see Mika and Dominique talking, and she says that, he's standing out to her, and, she did give him her number. So, she's kind of feeling him. So, of course, everybody is still just getting to know each other. They're just talking, things like that. So Tommy comes outside and he tells all the ladies he wants to speak with them. And so they all go in the house. So, of course, as the viewers, we already know it's time for deliberation. And basically, the women have to decide who they're going to eliminate that night. So they all sit down inside with Tommy. And April says that Dominique caught her eye because he's very attentive and he listens. And so Mika also chooses Dom to stay, and she says it's because he's gentle and she's open to getting to know him. So Alexis tells Tommy that she thinks Will is handsome, but she thinks he's kind of like a little bit of a player. And Koshia, she chooses LaRon to stay because she said he allowed her to challenge his guardness, and, you know, she was really feeling that. So as she says that, Alexis says, you know, I don't know about, she was like, I just don't know what it is about LaRon, but he's not my cup of tea. So Alexis is like, yeah, I'm not really feeling for LaRon to stay. So we see in Koshia's confessional, she's getting all like upset, and she says, you know, when I heard Alexis say that, I wanted to jump over the table and snatch those curls out of her head for saying LaRon's name. And I was like, girl, calm down. Now, she did kind of smile at the end, so I think maybe she was playing around when she said that, but she just came off like kind of aggressive. And I'm like, first of all, I mean, Tommy's there to find out who you guys want to stay and who you're not feeling. So she's giving her opinion. And first of all, you just met this guy. Like, I don't know why you're being so territorial. It's like really weird. So I didn't really like that. I think she was playing, but I don't know. I don't know, y'all. So anyway, so Mika tells Tommy, she says that LaRon and Will are at the bottom of her list. And she also says that William is at the bottom too for her because he's been married twice and he has 3 kids and he's a comedian, and she doesn't know if he can like turn that funny side off and like be serious. So that's what she says. So Koshia, she says the same thing about William. He's kind of at the bottom of her list too because he's not focused and he just wants to do so many things career-wise. And so April, she says the same thing, but she says that about DeMonte, and she wants someone that's stable.
I know you don't, but let me tell you, I got to be like a thief in the night in this house every time I want to get some privacy to do my work.
So, you know, Koshia starts talking and she starts going in on DeMonte, saying that, you know, he said that he was looking for his queen, but he doesn't have his credit together and he's all over the place. And what queen is he looking for? So I was like, dang. I mean, you ain't had to put his business out like that, even though it was captured on camera. But I mean, you ain't had to say it in front of Tommy. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it seems like Koshia is going to be a little trip this season. So we'll see, y'all. We'll see. So anyway, guys, they all deliberate and they finally give Tommy an answer about who they want to go home and eliminate. So after they meet with Tommy, everybody goes back outside, the men and the women, and they're all, you know, standing in front of Tommy. So Tommy says, you know, that the women have decided to let somebody go and, you know, they have to go. So he calls DeMonte and William to come up to the front in front of everybody. So Tommy says he lets them know that the man that the ladies feel isn't ready to love is DeMonte. So yeah, y'all, DeMonte got eliminated. And if you guys don't remember, DeMonte is the fashion stylist. So yeah, he's that guy. So he gets eliminated. He says goodbye to everyone. And that's that. So after that, Tommy lets all the men and women know that he'll still, y'all, I can't talk. Tommy lets all of the men and women know that he will see them at the Ready to Love brunch, where they're actually going to meet the other 9 singles that he's going to meet tomorrow for a second mixer. So, you know, everybody's excited, like, yay, we get to meet some more people. And let's get this thing popping, y'all. So, and scene. So yeah, y'all, that's where the episode ends. Let's see, y'all. So for episode 1, I'm going to give it a I guess our opening season episode, I'll give it a 7. It wasn't nothing too like dramatic. It wasn't like, super exciting. We're getting to know these people. So we met, like the first 9 people or whatever. So yeah, I'll give it a 7. I'll give it a 7. It wasn't bad, of course, definitely wasn't bad, but it wasn't like, oh my gosh, that was such a good episode. It started off, it's pretty cool. I'll just say that it's pretty cool. Episode 1. I don't know what's up with that Glenn guy. I mean, I don't know. So I guess he ain't coming back. Or maybe they may surprise us and he might come maybe to the second mixer. Who knows, y'all? Y'all know they try to do the dramatics. But anyway, y'all, that is the end of episode 1 for season 9 of Ready to Love. Guys, tell me your thoughts about this episode. Make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so that you can be informed whenever I upload a new video. Also, too, tell me your thoughts below. Comment below. Let me know, what did you guys think of episode 1? What did you guys actually think of the couples this season that we've met so far? Is there some people you kind of like? Are there some people you're kind of like, I don't know, Brie. I don't know about this one. I don't know. Just let me know. So far, nobody's, gotten on my nerves. So far, everybody seems cool or whatever. So we'll see how this works out, y'all. We'll see. I feel like Koshia is going to be a handful because they did show scenes for the upcoming season, and she kind of like gets into it with people, and I don't know. I don't know how this gonna pan out for her, but we'll see, y'all. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning in for another recap, for listening to me run my mouth about this show. Thank you guys so much. And of course, before I let you go, I love to say a prayer over you, and so here it goes. So may the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face shine on you and be gracious to you. May the Lord turn his face towards you and give you his peace and protection. May the Lord give you favor. This is my prayer over your life in Jesus' name. Amen. Take care, everyone. I'll see you in my next recap. And yeah, bye.